The anti-inflammatory breakfast that can change how you feel in just 2 weeks. What if I told you that the pain you feel in the morning, the stiffness in your joints, the soreness that makes getting out of bed feel like a battle, could start improving in as little as 14 days, just by changing what you eat for breakfast? I know that sounds hard to believe. Most people think pain is just part of getting older, that once you pass a certain age, your joints are supposed to ache, your back is supposed to be stiff, and your energy is supposed to disappear. But that is not what's really happening inside your body. What you're feeling isn't just aging, it's inflammation. And every single morning, without realizing it, millions of people are starting their day with foods that quietly turn that inflammation up even higher. White toast, sugary cereals, pastries, processed breakfast meats, even that healthy glass of fruit juice. These foods spike blood sugar, stress your immune system, and flip on inflammatory pathways that can keep your body in pain all day long. And here's the part that should really get your attention. Breakfast doesn't just affect how you feel in the morning. It sets the inflammatory tone for your entire day. The first meal after you wake up tells your immune system whether it should calm down or stay in attack mode. And if it stays in attack mode long enough, that's when joints swell, nerves become sensitive, muscles stay tight, and simple movements start to hurt. Let me ask you something. Do you ever wake up already tired, already stiff, already uncomfortable before the day even starts? Maybe your knees hurt when you stand. Maybe your hands feel tight and achy. Maybe your back takes an hour just to loosen up. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. According to major health organizations, tens of millions of adults over 50 are living with daily pain linked to chronic inflammation. And many of them have no idea that food is playing a massive role in it. But the good news is this. Inflammation is not permanent, and your body is actually designed to calm it down if you give it the right signals. And that's exactly what today's video is about. I'm going to show you 5 simple breakfast foods that work together to help switch off inflammatory pathways and activate your body's natural healing systems. Not supplements, not expensive treatments, just real food you can buy at almost any grocery store. And I'll also show you how to combine them into one powerful, easy morning routine you can start tomorrow. Because the goal here isn't just to feel a little better. The goal is to wake up with less stiffness, less pain, and more energy, day after day. So let's start with the foundation of this anti-inflammatory breakfast. Food number 1, turmeric golden milk. This isn't just a trendy drink. This is one of the oldest healing recipes in the world, now backed by modern science. Turmeric contains a powerful compound called curcumin, and curcumin doesn't just mask pain, it targets inflammation at the cellular level. Inside your body, there's a molecular switch called NF-kappa B. When this switch is active, your cells produce inflammatory chemicals that keep joints swollen and tissues irritated. Curcumin helps block that switch, which means less inflammatory signaling, less swelling, and less pain over time. In studies involving adults with joint pain and arthritis, people who consumed curcumin regularly reported significant reductions in stiffness and discomfort, in some cases comparable to common anti-inflammatory medications, but without the digestive and cardiovascular side effects. And that's why golden milk works so well in the morning. But preparation matters. Here's the simple version. Warm 1 cup of milk. Dairy or non-dairy. Add 1 teaspoon of turmeric. Add a small pinch of black pepper. This is critical because black pepper increases curcumin absorption dramatically. Add a little cinnamon and fresh ginger if you like. Warm gently for a few minutes, then sweeten lightly if needed. The natural fats in the milk also help your body absorb curcumin better. Drink this first thing in the morning, ideally before other foods. Most people who stay consistent notice that morning stiffness begins to ease within the first week or 2. But turmeric alone isn't enough, because inflammation isn't controlled by one pathway, it's controlled by many. Which brings us to the second part of your anti-inflammatory breakfast. Food number 2, omega-3, rich foods. Your immune system uses fats to decide whether to create inflammation or resolve it. And omega-3 fats are the ones that tell your immune system, okay, the job is done. Calm down now. When you eat omega-3s, your body turns them into special molecules called resolvins and protectins. These don't just reduce inflammation, they actively help shut it off. The problem is, most modern diets are overloaded with omega-6 fats from vegetable oils and processed foods. That imbalance keeps your immune system stuck in low-grade inflammation all the time, So adding omega-3s at breakfast helps restore that balance early in the day. Best options include wild-caught salmon, sardines, mackerel, or plant-based sources like flax seeds and walnuts. Even a small serving makes a difference. 3 ounces of salmon with breakfast, or 2 tablespoons of ground flax in oatmeal or smoothies, or a handful of walnuts. Studies show that people with higher omega-3 levels tend to have less joint pain, better cardiovascular health, and lower overall inflammatory markers. And here's why breakfast is the best time for it. Omega-3s influence how your immune system behaves for hours afterward. So starting your day with them helps regulate inflammation all day long. Now, while turmeric and omega-3s work on inflammatory signaling, the next food works on protecting your blood vessels and tissues from inflammatory damage. And chances are, it's already in your fridge or freezer. Food number 3. Berries, blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, raspberries. These small fruits are loaded with compounds called anthocyanins, the pigments that give them their deep colors. Anthocyanins reduce the production of inflammatory chemicals and increase your body's own anti-inflammatory responses. They also protect the lining of your blood vessels, which is critical because damaged vessels create even more inflammation. In long-term studies, people who eat berries regularly show lower risks of heart disease and better metabolic health. But for pain and stiffness, what matters most is their effect on inflammatory cytokines, the messengers that tell your immune system to stay angry. Berries help quiet those signals. 1 cup per day is enough to get real benefits. Fresh or frozen, both work. Add them to oatmeal. Blend them into smoothies, or eat them on the side with your eggs or fish. And here's something important. Berries work even better when combined with omega-3 fats and turmeric. Together, they create a stronger and longer-lasting anti-inflammatory response than any of them alone. So now you already have 3 powerful tools working together in your breakfast. But there's another drink that can make this whole routine even more effective. And most people completely underestimate how powerful it is. So now you already have 3 powerful anti-inflammatory tools working in your breakfast: turmeric golden milk, omega-3 rich foods, and berries. But there's another morning habit that can dramatically strengthen this effect, and it's something many people are already drinking, just not in the right form. Food number 4, matcha green tea. Most people start their day with coffee, and while coffee has some benefits, it does very little to calm inflammation. Matcha, on the other hand, is in a completely different category. Matcha is made from whole green tea leaves that are finely ground into powder, which means when you drink it, you're consuming the entire leaf, not just an extract. That's important because green tea contains a powerful antioxidant called EGCG. EGCG helps block enzymes and genetic pathways that drive chronic inflammation. It also reduces oxidative stress, which is one of the main reasons joints and blood vessels become damaged over time. In people with inflammatory conditions, regular green tea consumption has been linked to lower levels of C-reactive protein, one of the main markers doctors use to measure inflammation in the blood. And matcha delivers up to 10 times more EGCG than regular green tea. But here's something else most people don't realize. Matcha contains an amino acid called L-theanine. This helps promote calm focus without triggering stress hormones the way caffeine from coffee often does. And stress hormones are a huge driver of inflammation. So when you replace or reduce coffee with matcha in the morning, you're not just adding antioxidants, you're also lowering stress-related inflammatory signals. How to prepare it? Add 1 teaspoon of matcha powder to a cup. Pour in hot, not boiling water. Whisk or stir until smooth. Add a little milk or honey if you like. Drink it after your golden milk or alongside your breakfast. Many people notice steadier energy, better focus, and fewer mid-morning crashes within days. Now we come to the final piece of your anti-inflammatory breakfast. And this one may seem simple, but it plays a critical role in calming the immune system and protecting your joints long-term. Food number 5, nuts. Not all snacks are created equal. Almonds, walnuts, and pistachios are packed with nutrients that directly reduce inflammation. They contain vitamin E, which protects cells from inflammatory damage, magnesium, which helps regulate immune activity, and fiber, which feeds beneficial gut bacteria that produce anti-inflammatory compounds. And yes, your gut plays a major role in joint pain and systemic inflammation. When gut bacteria are healthy, they send signals that help keep the immune system balanced. When they're not, inflammation rises everywhere in the body. Large long-term studies show that people who eat nuts regularly have lower rates of heart disease, metabolic problems, and overall mortality. But for pain and stiffness, the biggest benefit comes from how nuts stabilize blood sugar and calm immune signaling. About a quarter cup per day is enough. Add them to oatmeal, sprinkle them on yogurt, blend them into smoothies, or just eat them alongside your main breakfast. Raw or lightly toasted is best. Avoid sugar-coated or heavily salted versions. Now let's talk about how to combine all 5 of these foods into one simple, realistic morning routine. Because this is where most people go wrong. They try one food for a few days, don't feel dramatic changes, and give up. But inflammation is not controlled by a single switch. It's controlled by systems. And when these foods are combined, they create what researchers call a synergistic effect, meaning the whole is stronger than the parts. How to build the anti-inflammatory breakfast. Here's what a complete version could look like. Start your morning with turmeric golden milk. Then have a protein-based breakfast like eggs with wild salmon or sardines. Add a cup of mixed berries on the side or an oatmeal. Include a small handful of nuts and drink matcha instead of, or in addition to, coffee. This combination blocks inflammatory pathways, activates resolution pathways, protects blood vessels, stabilizes blood sugar, and supports gut health. And that means less pain, less stiffness, and better energy throughout the day. But there's one more critical factor you need to understand if you want this to actually work. Timing matters more than you think. Inflammation follows a daily rhythm. It tends to be highest in the early morning, which is exactly when many people feel the most stiffness and discomfort. That makes breakfast the perfect time to intervene. If you wait until late morning or skip breakfast entirely, you miss the window where you can calm that inflammatory spike before it sets the tone for the day. That's why I recommend eating this kind of breakfast within 1 hour of waking up, not after errands, not after scrolling on your phone for 2 hours, but early. Now, I want to be very honest with you about something. This is not a magic overnight cure. Inflammation builds up over years. It takes time for tissues to heal and immune signaling to rebalance. Most people start noticing small improvements in 1 to 2 weeks. Less morning stiffness, better energy, less joint tightness. But the biggest changes usually happen around 6 to 8 weeks. That's when people often report real reductions in pain and improved mobility. So if you try this, commit to it. Give your body the time it needs to respond. Because what you're really doing here is teaching your immune system to calm down again. And that takes consistency. Now, in the final part, I want to bring everything together and show you exactly how to stay consistent, what mistakes to avoid, and why this breakfast can influence far more than just your joints. Before we finish, there are a few common breakfast habits that can quietly cancel out all the progress you're trying to make. Many people add one healthy food, but keep the rest of their routine the same, and that keeps inflammation active in the background. So let's talk about what to avoid in the morning if your goal is calmer joints and better mobility. Common breakfast, mistake number 1, sugar first thing in the morning. Sweet pastries, flavored yogurts, fruit juices, and sugary cereals all cause rapid blood sugar spikes. When blood sugar rises quickly, the body releases inflammatory messengers that affect joints, blood vessels, and even the nervous system. That means even if you drink turmeric milk, but then eat a sweet breakfast, your body is still being pushed toward inflammation. If you enjoy sweet flavors, it's better to get them from berries combined with protein and healthy fats. That slows absorption and keeps your system stable. Common breakfast, mistake number 2, skipping protein. Protein is not just for muscles. It also stabilizes blood sugar and supports tissue repair. Without enough protein in the morning, inflammation can stay elevated and energy can crash by late morning. Eggs, fish, Greek yogurt, or plant-based protein options can all work well. Try to include a protein source at breakfast every day. Common breakfast mistake. Number 3, eating too little. Some people over 60 eat very light breakfasts because they don't feel hungry early in the day. But undereating can actually increase stress hormones, which can increase inflammatory activity. Your body needs fuel to repair and regulate itself. That doesn't mean large portions, but it does mean balanced ones. Now let's quickly review the full anti-inflammatory breakfast strategy so it's easy to remember and follow. The 5-food anti-inflammatory morning plan. Turmeric golden milk to support cellular inflammation control. Omega-3 rich foods like salmon, sardines, walnuts, or flaxseed to help the immune system resolve inflammation. A full cup of berries to protect blood vessels and reduce inflammatory signals. Matcha green tea to deliver powerful antioxidants and calmer energy. A small serving of nuts for vitamin E, magnesium, and gut support. Together, these foods work with your body's natural systems rather than forcing it into short-term fixes. And that's why this approach often leads to steadier improvement over time. But food is only part of the picture. How you think about healing also matters. Many people assume that pain is simply something that must be accepted with age. But that belief alone can keep people from making changes that could truly improve their daily comfort and independence. Your body still responds to support. Your tissues still repair. Your circulation still adapts. You are not too old for improvement. You may just need a different strategy than you used in your younger years. And breakfast is one of the easiest places to start, because it's a habit you repeat every single day. And small daily choices often create the biggest long-term changes. If you decide to try this routine, give it at least 2 full weeks before judging the results. Pay attention to how you feel in the morning, how long stiffness lasts, how your energy changes, how comfortable movement feels. These are meaningful signals. Now, I'd really like to hear from you. Which of these 5 foods are you most interested in adding to your breakfast first? Is it turmeric golden milk, more fish or omega-3 foods, berries, matcha, or nuts? Leave a comment and share your plan. Your experience may encourage someone else who is dealing with the same challenges. And if you enjoy calm, practical wellness advice designed especially for adults over 50, consider subscribing to the channel. New videos are shared regularly, always focused on simple habits that support better daily comfort, mobility, and long-term well-being. In the next video, we'll talk about evening meals and simple nighttime habits that help the body stay calmer and more comfortable while you rest. Because what you do before sleep matters just as much as what you do in the morning. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.